Good morning, everybody. Shift your mindset here with a new episode, and today's episode will be gluttony. Why gluttony? Because it's the one thing that defines a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, but I never saw someone getting removed this fellowship for gluttony in my whole life, in my whole career as a Jehovah's Witness. And there are so many people, in my opinion, who fit the description of gluttony. I believe also, if I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong, that in the book of the elders, in the shepherd of the flock, it's also a section about gluttony. But I never seen someone being removed from a position for gluttony. If I smoke a cigarette, I'm in trouble. If I drink too much, I'm in trouble. But if you eat too much, and it's not about eating too much, but I can name hundreds of names of people, gluttony. Even the governing body members looked all buff and puff if you look at the JW broadcast. It's not healthy. So, gluttony. I did my research as every Jehovah's Witness could and would have done if they are critical thinkers. Why? Deuteronomium 21, 8 till 21st. It's about an Israelite who was a glutton and a drunkard being executed. The good old days. No questions, bam, executed. But gluten and drunkenness are being said in and named in the same sentence. It's the same sin for God. Proverbs 28:7 warns about companionship with gluttons. So if you are honest JW, your inner circle now is getting really empty, because it warns you about companionship with gluttons. You can erase more than 40% of your congregation then. So stop having companionship with almost, I think, 40% of your congregation, especially in the Western countries. Greedy persons will not inherit God's kingdom. Go on, so forth. There are many scriptures that talk about gluttony, but I never saw one single man or woman getting reproved or removed from a position for gluttony. We all know it's not black and white, because a skinnier person can also be a glutton. So let's dive in that a little bit deeper, because we can't say, oh, he is fat, so he is a glutton. It's not that black and white, but physical signs, someone is bloated, that's a good sign, I think, that someone is a glutton. If you can't tie your own shoelaces, you're having a problem. But like smoking, that's visible, but in the scriptures, it's clear. But the governing body is weaseling around that and say someone can have a disease, or someone can have a hidden thing, or whatever. Or I have heavy bones, I also hear that. But I have plenty of stories, plenty of experiences. Especially if you look in the body of elders. From the 10 elders, maybe 1 or 2 are fit people. But the other ones, especially the older ones, are bloated people. I knew an elder who drank more than a 2-liter bottle of Coke every day. Even in the elder school, where we were doing the food and everything around it, I saw people with lunch eating and eating and eating. It was compulsive eating. So let's dive into those signs. Physical signs are overeating. Not 1 plate, no 2-3 plates. Overeating, very simple. Physical discomfort. How many people do you see this having physical discomfort? They can't tie their own shoelaces. And sometimes it's not only on eating. Not enough exercise is also a thing, but physical discomfort is also a sign. And if you put all those signs together, you have the perfect picture you need. Weight gain can have a few reasons, but the most important thing for gaining weight is what you put in your mouth. They don't look about the healthy stuff, because also at that elder school, the healthy stuff was always still there after lunch. But the Snicker bars, the Mars bars, the fast food things, the sandwiches with beef and everything were gone, but the salad was still standing there. 1 or 2 people liked a fresh salad, but the other ones were going for the easiest and most terrible food there was. Having health issues is also a physical sign of gluttony. And we see a lot of people struggling with health issues in the congregation for Jehovah's Witnesses. But next to physical signs, you also have behavioral signs. And that a sign is that you are obsessing over food. I know a lot of people who were constantly thinking about eating. Even, meeting is over, now we can eat. Or people who are going to the back room during the meeting to eat something. And it can happen if you work a night shift and you changed and you had to go to the congregation, okay, then you have to eat between the 1 hour talks and the watchtower study. But I saw people every meeting going into the back and were eating, or had a lot of candies during the meeting. They was constantly eating something. So if you're constantly thinking about food and what's next to eat, that's also a sign, behavioral sign of gluttony. And another thing is, let me get it, it's quantity over quality. I rather eat the whole week no meat. I have no problem with eating no meat. But if I want a piece of meat, then it has to be a good quality of meat. So I pick out my meat when I feeling into eating that. But those people who are gluttons just want to shove it into their mouth. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. And that's important to them. It's about the quantity. And then they're getting feeling bloated, of course. And we know a lot of people. And also the people, what I notice is after you just had a meal, they have to snack after that. Also a sign of gluttony. That it's not enough and then they are already thinking about something else. Gluttony in its purest form. Pure gluttony convention it's becoming. But you have also psychological signs of gluttony. and that's that you feel guilty or that you feel shame. And I know a lot of people who take comfort after the meetings in, for example, chocolate. They eat a whole chocolate bar after the meeting because of the guilt and the shame they have that they are not good enough and stuff like that. Also, excuses. I know a lot of people who are saying when they're gluttons and their suits are almost breaking out of the threads. Oh, but I deserve this because I did this. So they are mentally giving themselves a green light to eat again. Oh, I deserve this. Yes, no, I know. And also the lack of self-control. They have no control over their own body. And it's something that is compulsive. It's something that is becoming a habit. And it has to do with how you're feeling inside. A lot of people, and I see it especially with the elders, they have responsibilities, but they are not feeling right internally. I think eventually you can't shut off all your feelings. And it's eating you from the inside. That you had a judicial committee and that you're not feeling good about what you decided with your fellow brothers. That you have to enforce rules on people that you deep down inside know that's too harsh, it's not fair, but you are keep towing that line. And I see it with pioneers also, overeating. Every time they go into ministry, they have to have a pastry or a cake or whatever between with the coffee and stuff like that. And they're not fully joyful in life. They have too much responsibilities. They have too much going on in their conscience. And that's a behavioral thing. That this, I think if you do a research on a high controlled religion, that you see that more people than the average people around you in the world have a certain type of diseases, anxieties, or also gluttons among them. And I find it funny that they are looking only to outside signs, like, hey, he's smoking, or he's saying this, or he's a drunk, or whatever. But the gluttons always have a free pass. They always have a get out of jail card. Nowhere I was in my life as a Jehovah's Witness, in every congregation, I see it again. I see those bloated men, hardly moving, they can't walk properly, they all have big ankles and have a hard time to walk to the stage. If they are on the stage for giving a talk, they have first 10 seconds that that's a and those are the people who are judging you and me over something that is maybe something that's noticeable, like smoking or whatever. But a cigarette won't kill you, but gluttony will kill you, and you are getting punished for something. But those people who are still continuing on with this unhealthy lifestyle, because I've seen it all. I saw people eating like crazy, time and time after, again, not a one-time occasion. What I said, the brother who on average more than 2 liters of Coke every day. He drinks a bottle of 2 liters empty a day. Without all the food around that, but only that says a lot about a person. And those are the persons who are judging you and me and everybody else in the congregation, but are, in my opinion, are the most hypocritical persons walking in that religion. So that was my take on gluttony. I think, let me know in the comments if you ever have experienced that someone was removed because they are gluttons. I never saw it in my life. I'm open to change. If somebody can send me a message that somebody has been removed, because I see it throughout the whole congregation, especially in the body of elders and other stuff. I see it even in the governing body. Mark Sandwichen, it's a good name for him because he likes to eat. There is no other conclusion we can make. He stands there, and with his little beard now he can hide his double chin, but it's not healthy. And somebody, I don't know why no one has confronted him with him yet. Hey Mark, instead of doing the next broadcast, go and spend some time in the gym, or go to the sauna, or skip the morning meals on Bethel and do an intermittent fasting for you. 12 hours no food or whatever. But no, they are judging everybody, but they're not preaching what's there in the Bible. Somebody got executed for being a glutton, and they are walking around not doing their 10,000 steps a day or whatever target they have, and they are just eating a good life. And they're not eating what the other Bethelites are eating, because otherwise whole Bethel would be a glutton, and that's not the case. So I think they have another eating program. They have 24/7 nurses on standby. So I think there's also someone who is cooking especially for them. But that's another story. Let me know if you ever experienced someone who's removed for gluttony or whatever. I'm happy to learn new things, but let's see and find out if we have someone in the comments who can enlighten us with new light on gluttony. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see each other on the next episode.